Okay, ladies and gents, today we're going to be looking at making a mackerel rig, which is actually called a jig rig. Most city folk call these mackerel rigs. Don't know why. I guess because you catch more mackerel with them, but you don't really. You can catch a lot of blues and other different fish, pompano, things like that with them. We're going to be doing our own today, so we have our own colors and things like that too. And I'll discuss what weights you can use and what weights you don't use, and we'll jump right into that. Okay, first thing first, we're going to be talking about the line I'm using. I'm using 30-pound test in a clear. We're not using a color. This is Andy. It's a fairly decent line to use. Very durable. It's 30-pound class. You can use as low as a 20 if you don't mind being broke off as much. 25 makes a very good pound for line too as well. 40 is getting a bit heavy. 50 is out of my league. I don't mess with it. I don't mess with 40 either. 30 is generally about as high as I go. I use clear line. I do not use color line. I do not use yellow line. I do not use blue line. I do not use black line. Fish aren't quite that stupid. You can use suffix in a clear. Some people say it is really good and it works really well. Honestly, just the difference in the price, and I really haven't been seeing any success either way. So just discussing the line. Alright, getting from the line now, let's talk about your weights. These type of weights work pretty good here. I normally use between a 4 and a 5 ounce. Every once in a while I will use a 3, depending on a very light day of wind or how heavy the wind is blowing. And I have used as much as a 6 or a 7 in something like this. This is a 3 here. These do work pretty well. You can take 2 of these and put them together above each other like that on the line, as long as they're going straight up and down and not causing any problems. What I do not use is I do not use pyramid weights. They make noise. They seem to catch a lot less fish. They're more aggravating coming up and harder to pull the line up when you're jigging them like that. I don't use anything on the bottom of mine. A lot of people like using one of these with a hook on the bottom of it and using it for the weight to jig up and down. Every once in a while they'll catch a fish with it. They also catch the bottom of the ground with it too, in the sand and somebody else's rig, and then they wind up losing their whole thing. So these are my colors that I have. I keep most of these colors have been here for years. Starting over here, we got some clears, which with a gold hook, which is like this. Looks just like a silver side fish with it run through the middle. You can run just the hook by itself, which a lot of people do on a boat. Works just fine. Your pinks and stuff is for very tropical days, as far as hot, pretty water, things like that. Yellow and green I like running on the bottom of my jig rig. It allows me to catch bait fish like herring or a greenback that you would call it on the bottom, because they're really bad about hanging around the bottom and you can catch them. And especially if you're running the king mackerel rig or something like that, it's an easy way to pick up a bait. Sometimes the blues are bad about hitting the green too as well. Black is actually a really good color too as well. Due to really shitty days, you'd be surprised how well black does work. If you're catching ribbon fish or Atlantic cutlass fish, black is a great color for them. They love it in the middle of the daytime. Get into the green and pink. These are going to be your Walmart colors here. If you go to Walmart and buy straws from them and cut them up, this is going to be their like the little tropical color they have going on there. And these are my green and yellow straws here, which I normally run on the bottom for picking up little fish to run on my king mackerel rig or whatever else we got going on. Over here is my red. Red is going to be your basic color. You have 2 basic colors. We're going to be red and white. That's your number 2 main colors, red and white. Red and white mixed together, generally really good. You can have red and white mixed on a straw. You can have red and blue on a straw, but this is normally what my white straws look like. As long as there's more white on there than there is any other color, I've got to give me my red and my white. Another tropical color here from Walmart. You can pick up in the straw section where the drinks are at. These colors are used during a real bright day. Really pretty water, really good water going on. We don't get to fish that very often, which while I'm fishing in shit, it seems like, which is muddy, dirty water. We fish a mud line a lot, so that's why we use the basic colors like red and white and black in them areas. This is just clear tubes cut up. They did work okay, and as far as having to hook through them, it looks really nice. We have some older rigs in here that have been cut up. A lot of times people will purchase these and they're on vacation and they'll just get them ripped up and they'll throw them in the trash and go, hey, I'll take it and cut it up, and I know how to resew them, so I'll put them back in here and resew them. And here's some more beat up ones and some other ones. You see I don't use a whole lot of blue. Blue is not a color that I like. Blue is like an offshore color for me. It works really good a couple miles off the coastline. It don't work really well for me up near shore. Pinks are great near shore. Pinks, yellows, pink and money green will be my main colors that I use on a boat. And on the pier generally is pink and money green for a skirt on a mackerel or something like that. But when it comes to just my basic colors, is red and white, and normally red, white, and black. So let's get into actually how we're making a rig. Now you know a little bit about your colors. Okay, well, before I start making the rigs, I want to discuss a little bit on the hooks. Your hook size is going to be left up to you, what you like. If you're starting off in the spring and you're just now starting to get where your Spanish schools are coming in, running up down the East Coast, and you're trying to get into a smaller gold hook, generally works better for them because they're generally 12 inches for us, the length they have to be. And they're in the school, they're all 11 3/4, and none of them can bite a bigger hook, so we use a smaller one. And once in a while we'll find one that's 12 inches. But start off with a much smaller hook than this here, and moving into the season, you start getting bigger and bigger. And I normally don't do too gigantic size wise. This is generally about as big as I get here with these. You can kind of compare with the weight here. I don't know what the actual size to it is. I throw it away. I'm very picky about which ones I pick or whatever. So, but these are just basically your eagle claw hooks you pick up at Walmart, and they work pretty well. You get about 50 of them in a box or 25 of them in a box. Pick up a couple different sizes, you can try them out. Alright, I'm back here. Some of the tools I'm using today, it's going to be just a pair of plain cutters. That, or you can use a knife too as well. I have a tool here that I use for this here, rolling it off. I've had it for years. You can build yourself one. It just applies pressure on both sides of this part here, so it takes and works like you want it to, or pull as much as you want out. So I've got my hooks set up here. Starting at the bottom here, this will be my green one here. This will be going on first after my weight. I have a red one, a white one, a red one, a white one, and another red one after that. I do have a noodle here I'm going to use here. You can pick this up from Walmart. They're generally really long in the kids area, in the pool stuff. You cut them down to size, and I'll show you what these are used for too as well. A lot of times if you buy them from off a pier, that's because they're handmade, and the jig rigs are handmade, and somebody else has done filled it up like this here. So start out with, get our line here, so I can make sure I can get you in here with this here. I'm going to start out with a figure 8 knot and then make it really long on here. I'll explain why I make it really long. See that there? Because it'll come up to the top here to a figure 8. You know how to do a figure 8? It's great. Up here and stop. Now, depending on how you do your jig rigs, how you do them, I do mine a certain way. I do them so I can remove the hooks and put them on and off when I want. So if I want to change the color, repair, or straw, I can do that. Now, if you're doing this and you're tying the hooks on each knot and having it so it loops inside the knot, then you'll have to slide each hook on here before you take and put this on. So you have to slide all 6 hooks you got there, or however many you're using, on here before you even tie this knot here. Okay? Alright, now I got my figure 8 tied here. Get another one in here. Just going to loop that here. Spin it a few times so it gets in there. And I'm going to put my other figure 8 in there. This is a double loop. The reason this is a double loop, I have it here, is a lot of times you will get bit off by basically a bigger Spanish or ribbon fish are really bad about going after the weight. So if you're able to get it out and at least one of these are cut, the other one isn't, you'll still get your weight back most of the time. So let's find my weight, wherever the hell I done with it. It's around here somewhere. It's still over here. Alright, my weight. Good. Just gonna slide on here like so. Into here. Just gonna pull it over through there. Slide it in through here and then back and pull it up here to the top. There we go. So you have that double bite area here. So if it goes after it hits it, at least I hopefully maybe get the weight back. These are expensive and you lose a lot of them. The wintertime really bad about going out at the pier and taking a seed rake and throwing it over with a long rope on it and drag it, and you'll catch these rigs a lot of times that people lose, and you can collect the lead that's left behind. Your noodle, that's what your noodle's for. We're going to slide it there just like that and set it off to the side. Okay, clean this up a little bit here. Snip this off there. I'm going to snip this double off too as well here. I can do that because this is a figure 8 and it's not going to give. We good? Cleaned up a little bit there. Alright. Your hook should be anywhere from 6 inches to 12 inches to your desire of where you want it at. Okay? It all depends entirely on you. You decide how many hooks you want on the rig, how close you want them. I try to keep them normally where they're not going to entangle with each other. That's the best way. So between 6 and 12 inches for me is generally good. And I don't have a set pattern on when I'm tying them. I just kind of give it a guess and just throw it up there. Okay. Okay. Back to getting the hook going. Back to a figure 8 here. Get about that far out here. Figure 8 there. Get about that close with the first one to the weight. There you go. As close as I'm going to get to it there. I'm going to slide my hook on. First one's going to be a green. Squeezing the line together and basically sliding it on. Okay. Pulling it over the hook. I like this way because it doesn't bounce around. Good set hook for me. Take it. Loop it around. We got right here so far. There we go. Stick it right in there. Come back to my knot here where I'm at. A little bit more line. So. To my next one. This one might go a little longer, be fine. Ain't eating nothing. This is going to be my red one. I'm doing it this way because I can take my hooks back off, remember. Put a different hook on here. Put a different color on here. Repair it if I need be. Slide it in here like that. Flip it over to the back side, guys. And here we go. Just pull it again. Got it. Roll this one on next. Don't matter which way you go. Slide it on there. Good. A little bit of a mess over here happening. Right. Next hook. Here. Another figure 8. Like this. Good. About that far. This is going to be a white one. Squeezing the line together. That's the way I like doing mine. I'm doing the way you want to do them. Okay, that's my next one. Wrap it around. Stick it in there. Right back. Back to going again. Some line here. Put it off. This will be my red one. Here we go. Slide in. Lock it in. There we go. Pull it. Good. You get the hang of it. That's what I want to do right here. Figure 8 again. You do any knot you want to do. I like to figure 8. It always works really well for me, so do whatever you want to do. But I like to figure 8. A lot of different knots you can use. Use the one you're comfortable with. Feel like it'll work the best for you. Alright, back in again. Here we go. The weight keeps wanting to fall out, which is fine. Just get it back in there. Alright, we got one more again. It's going to be a red one. Okay. Great. Feel right. Here it again. There we go. Make sure it's tied right. There we go. That's one. Put it in there, wrap it in. Stick it in there. Alright guys, this is going to be my last one for my loop where I hook in at on my rod. Make this a little long here. Put that along there and snip her off. Okay. Double back here. This here. Got a big loop here for this figure 8. And we'll double right back on top of it. Just basically for the bite area, or Spanish, or ribbon fish, blue. Well, blue isn't too bad about cutting them. Like a Spanish and a ribbon fish will do. There we go. There's my double there. I hook it into my line right here. There you have it, guys. Clean up a little bit. I'll send her on the way. Not too much stuff falling off there. Alright, that's it. All she wrote. Looks like stick it around in a little sandwich bag and you're good to go, guys.